Hey guys, Casual Crono here. I've noticed lately with a lot of people have been talking about Aldo's Stellar Awakening. And there's a lot of people that are asking, how do I defeat the Stella mode? And I've even seen some people still talking about hard mode and very hard mode. So we're going to start with hard mode. And the pledge for hard mode is simply to clear within 3 turns. And like my other videos, I'm going to attempt to do it several different ways. So if you don't have the exact lineup that I have, hopefully you can find something that works for you. So when I first did this, I used my Minalka team. Made sense. Aldo was in the group already, holding grasta for Minalka, and it's just a really strong team. And since the pledge was to complete in 3 turns, I figured they could probably do it. So first round, Overwhelm. She would Pain Poison. She's going to drop Fire Stance. And she's going to Rip and Tear. And you'll notice that Aldo has an HP stopper. He is able to kill my tank, but because Iphi's in the lineup, Radias survived. Moving on to round 2. Prominence Purge. Improve the team's power. Improve the team's power. And another Rip and Tear. And we hit the second HP stopper. He killed another member of the team, but Iphi revived.
Incinerate.
And in the third round, Overwhelm. Iphi's job is kind of done. She's going to reduce fire resistance, and Minalka's going to Rip and Tear. The fire zone is awakened as well, so Minalka can put out a lot of damage. So that was hard mode with a very strong team. Alright, here's a little non-traditional way to do hard mode. We have Flammelapis and Iphi included, and then a free character Aisha, and pretty much a free character Prai.
When can we find something a little more delicious?
Round 1, Prai will cast Indulgence. Iphi will reduce his power. Water. And Neptune. Actually, I think Iphi is going to give herself a shield instead.
Take that.
Alright, here in round 2, Prai is going to be stunned. So we're going to have to rely on Iphi's reses. We're going to reduce power with both Rosa Liliac and Blue Sky Fantasia, and she's going to Neptune again.
Take that.
There's 1 res. There's 1 res. And Prai is back up. So that means Prai can cast Indulgence again. Iphi will improve the team's power. She will reduce water resistance. And this is turn number 3, which means he has to die, so she's going to Neptune again.
This'll do it.
And there you go. If you have Iphi and Flammelapis, you can pull that off. As far as gear for that team, I had Flammelapis with an HP MP badge just for some extra health. Honestly, I probably could have gone with the bullseye badge or something else to improve her damage, since she was just rezzed anyway. As far as grasta goes, all she had was water type grasta. It added up to 100% extra water damage, so no pain and poison, which is very commonly used. Gear-wise, she did have the Elpis rod. You could probably pull it off with a weaker rod. Aisha was defensively oriented, Dreamy Staff, Plasma Ring, HP badge, and she had grasta that just improved her HP some more. Iphi was also defensively minded, Purity Staff, Mujima Ring, Life Spring badge, which adds an extra 1000 health. Grasta-wise, she was improving all staff users' health a little bit, and otherwise her grasta really didn't help in this fight. And then Prai just had store-bought gear, Plasma Hammer, Plasma Bangle. He did have an HP MP badge, but it was one of those weak ones for like 300 health. And grasta-wise, he had 600 extra hit points from this grasta, and an extra 600 hit points from this grasta. I even have a third grasta on him, because Indulgence, it doesn't really matter what his health is, he's going to take all the damage. So that is another way to do hard mode. Alright, let's try an even more non-traditional approach to this. So we're still on hard mode. And I only have 3 characters in the front line, Flammelapis, Aisha, and Radias. I could move Aldo in the front line, but I'm just trying something with 3 characters, just for fun. So she is going to cast Chivalry, Water Attack, Water Stance, and Neptune.
How's this?
And because of Chivalry, Radias is not going to die this round. And unlike Prai, she won't be stunned this round either. So we can cast it again. Decrease his power. Neptune again.
Take that! You!
This is the 3rd turn, so we're going to cast it a 3rd time. Aisha is going to reduce his water resistance, and she is going to Neptune again.
This'll do it!
And there you go. You just 3-manned the hard version of Aldo's fight. The team composition this time, Flammelapis was swapped to Bullseye, so she didn't have much health, but she did do basically 50% more damage. Aisha was the same. My Radius has a lot of nice gear. Since Chivalry means that she can't die, you could pretty much remove everything. So, for example, let's just go ahead and do that. Remove, grasta. Oh yeah, you have to go to the grasta menu. You have to go to bind in order to rescind. And rescind all. So there we go. We have a completely unequipped Radius. And let's see if we can pull off the exact same thing. Challenge mode, hard. 3-person team, fight.
I don't back down.
Chivalry, Water Stance, and Neptune.
You.
The little bit of regen is coming from the sidekick, so that's why she has a little bit of health. Chivalry again. And it doesn't really matter if we reduce Aldo's power, so I could just go ahead and do water resistance now, and Neptune. And final turn, because he has to be killed in 3 turns. Chivalry. Well, at this point, doesn't really matter, so... and Neptune.
Incinerate.
So the logic here is, if you have AS Radius, it doesn't matter what gear you have, since this fight has to be done in 3 turns, and she has 3 Chivalries, so you can basically put her in, and then any DPS you want, as long as the DPS can knock him out in 3 turns, you will win this fight. Alright, now that we've done hard mode a few times, let's play around with very hard mode. I'm going to take the same concept from hard mode, which was pairing up Flammelapis and Aisha. I'm going to throw Eva into the mix. I still have Radius, who still does not have any gear or grasta whatsoever.
Let's kick out the jams.
So round 1, Chivalry. I'm going to cast Glint Purge, which, because he's above 50% health, will attack again and basically reduces water resistance down by 100%. We're going to deploy Water Stance, and she is going to Neptune. There's the 4 Glint Purges, reducing water resistance. Aldo gets mad. Alright, round 2, Chivalry again. This time we're going to improve water type attack for everyone. She is going to reduce water resistance even further with Flow Concerto. And we're going to Neptune again. And we've hit the first HP stopper. Now we only have 1 Chivalry left. So she is going to Icicle Zorch. That should actually bring him down to his next HP stopper, now that he's been so debuffed. Because Icicle Zorch creates Break, I don't want to waste the break on one of these attacks, so she is just going to deploy Water Stance again, and she's going to Neptune. I made sure that Flammelapis' speed is the lowest out of everyone's, so Icicle Zorch should go first. There we go. Down to the final HP stopper.
I don't
And
extinguish that
following
easy.
the HP stopper, Neptune did its job. So 3 turns, no AF, which meet the conditions for the very hard. The team. Flammelapis did have the bullseye badge this time around, so she didn't have much in the way of health. Her grasta were the same, just 100% water damage. Aisha was exactly the same as before. Extra 900 health and defensive type gear. Eva just had a plasma rod, plasma ring, and I gave her a speed badge to make sure that her speed was before Aisha's and Flammelapis'. Aisha didn't matter so much, but I wanted to make sure that Flammelapis went last to make use of Eva's break. And then Radius was completely unequipped with no grasta, no gear, nothing. She just cast Chivalry 3 times. So if you have Radias AS, same concept applied as in hard mode. You find a DPSer, and you get 2 people that can support that DPSer, and go to town. And as long as you can kill Aldo in 3 turns, Radius can keep the team alive. Using that same concept, where you basically have, going to very hard, 1 DPSer, 2 people that can back them up, and then Radius. Here is the fight on hard mode.
Who needs words anyway?
Or sorry, very hard mode.
You!
Radius is still unequipped completely, so I have to basically do this in 3 rounds. So Chivalry, we are going to do Pain Poison. She's going to Rip and Tear. And Aisha is going to do Fire Stance.
It's over.
And we are down to the first HP stopper. Since we have Minalka, we do have Tetra in the background healing. We're going to cast Chivalry again. This time we're going to improve the team's power. She is also going to improve the team's power. And she's going to Rip and Tear like before.
It's over.
And that brings Aldo down to his second HP stopper. In case you're wondering why Radius is taking 0 damage at the beginning of the turn, Minalka's power rounds down. I think she does 20% of whatever the current HP is. So if you have 1 hit point, it's going to round down. And at this point, it doesn't really matter what Iphi does, so let's just give her a shield for funsies. We're going to reduce Aldo's fire resistance, but it should not matter because Rip and Tear should take care of the fight. And there we go. Aldo is down on very hard mode. So same concept as before when we had Flammelapis. We build 1 team. We have a DPSer, 2 support, and someone that can take the hits. Radius is probably the best person for this because of her Chivalry. She can use it 3 times without any type of stun the way Prai has, and so forth. You could probably give people a hold ground grasta, but that would only last once. So Radius is probably the best tank for these Aldo fights if you're lucky enough to have her or be able to side grade her. Minalka had her usual super boss gear, the pain poison stuff. Aisha, same as before. Iphi, same as before. And Radius was completely unequipped with everything. In the background, Aldo had the grasta that supports Minalka, so extra health, damage when HP is at 80%, and extra fire type attacks. I have Violet in the background because she is a glutton and so is Minalka, so she was giving Minalka an extra 25% damage as well. So there you go. There's a few ways to do it on very hard. Alright, we've seen some hard and very hard modes. Now it's time to get into the Stella difficulty. In the Stella difficulty, Aldo in the front row is almost a requirement, because if you don't, your enemy is going to do an attack on the first turn before you can even give your characters commands. That normally wipes out the team.
Pray that death finds you quick.
So here we go. We get started. And you'll notice that Aldo is already going. And immediately starts attacking. Interestingly, it is possible to survive that first round if you have Iphi. As you just saw, Iphi drug off 2 characters, but I was lucky enough once to actually have all 3 characters survive except for Iphi. So it is possible to win even when Aldo is not in the front row. I'm going to try Stella mode with Aldo in the background, which means he should attack the front row immediately. I'm curious if Garam's damage reduction
Pray that death finds you quick.
still comes into effect here. Well, I saw a little barrier thing. Alright, Minolta and Radius were revived, which means I could move them into the front line and continue upon my merry way.
I'll make sure no one's left
Let's
out.
fight till the end.
Die. Take this!
Chivalry, physical resistance, rip and tear, surging blaze.
It's over.
We're at turn number 3, so rip and tear, type move attack, chivalry again.
Take this!
One more round of chivalry. We'll just go ahead and blast again, rip and tear.
It's over.
And Evil Aldo has no more lives. I have a full bar, so I can blow it and basically just attack away. So
This is gonna hurt.
So while a bit of a gamble, depending on who he kills in the initial attack, it is possible to win with Aldo in the background. But you know, why would you want to? That's a lot of extra hassle. Alright, so now that we've seen hard and very hard modes, and you've seen Stella mode when Aldo is not in the front row, let's do it the proper way where Aldo is in the front row. So Stella mode. I have my Minalka Super Boss team set up, and I have Aldo in the front this time. Radius, by the way, I have re-equipped her with all of her gear. The team does not die this time. So we're going to pain poison. We're going to reduce physical resistance. Remember, at this point, I should not have Starworm Slash because, you know, this is the Stella fight, so I get that afterwards. So I'm kind of limited to these two for now. So we're going to reduce physical resistance, Rip and Tear, and she is going to Overwhelm.
It's over.
Round 2. We're going to Overwhelm again. We're going to improve type attack, Rip and Tear. Actually, we're going to Prominence Purge and Inflict Rage, I think. And she is going to improve the team's attack as well. The logic here is that way, instead of wasting a Chivalry, Iphi's Revive will take care of the two of them.
Take that.
It's over.
So I've made it to turn 3 without using any of my Chivalries. So now I'm going to start using that. And continue to Rip and Tear.
It's over.
There goes another one of Aldo's lives. Rip and Tear. Doesn't really matter. Chivalry again. I believe we've used up all of Aldo's lives now. Yep, I don't see any more, so Chivalry yet again. Power again, type attack again, Rip and Tear again. And that is a very messy way to win somewhat RNG dependent because Minalka had not yet been revived. If she was one of the ones that revived earlier, then obviously she would not have survived that last attack. But that is one way to do Stella mode. Kind of sloppy. On the first turn, he doesn't attack, so I don't have to waste a Chivalry on the first turn. So instead I'm going to Prominence Purge. We're going to Pain Poison. I can't use Starworm Slash because technically I don't have that yet if I'm doing this fight for the first time. So I'm going to reduce physical resistance and Rip and Tear. Now on the second turn, Aldo is going to attack, but since I have Iphi, whoever he attacks, which will likely be Radius because of the rage, is going to be revived. So I'm going to hold off on Chivalry and instead just continue doing what I'm doing. So another Rip and Tear. I'm going to use X/, to improve type attack, and Nocturnal Procession to improve the team's overall damage. And Radius is going to die. There she goes. There's her revive. Aldo is now revived.
It's over.
And we've used up another one of Aldo's lives. Basically, it's this Dragon God's Might thing. Round 3, Chivalry. We will give people, doesn't really matter. Guess I'll Rosa Liliac again. Dragon God again. Rip and Tear.
Take this.
Radius will live.
It's over.
Used up another life. Rip and Tear, X/, Shield, Chivalry. He will attempt to kill my Radius.
It's over.
It's gone.
And you will notice now he is out of his Dragon God stacks. It is turn number 5. So the AF bar is mine to use. So I am going to blow it. I'm going to Rip and Tear, Dragon God sign. I'm probably going to cast this because it doesn't matter for her. And I guess I will Overwhelm or Chivalry. So, since she doesn't have enough mana. Oh, there's a Prominence Purge. I'm going to Chivalry just in case, but
Everyone, give me your strength.
unnecessary, and this time much less sloppy way to die. So on turn 5, feel free to blow that AF bar. Now this particular strategy does require AS Radius, as you noticed, and it does make use of Iphi's revives. So the two of them are kind of required for this particular strategy. Minalka, while she's nice to have, you'll notice I did not have a fire zone going or anything. If you just have a really strong, powerful character that can basically wipe out Aldo's hit points in one swing, it doesn't have to be Minalka. So, and then Aldo in the front row is what's expected. And you saw that his damage wasn't too shabby as time went on either. So, anyway, that is yet another way, much less sloppy way, to defeat Stella mode with this particular team. In all cases, Radias AS was the MVP, and it didn't matter for the first fights if she had gear or not. The last fight, it definitely did matter because she was able to survive several swings before she was revived. Good luck to you all doing this fight. Hope you can find a group of team members, and I really hope that you have AS Radius to make this fight so much easier. Casual Crono, signing out.